1450 to 15 RPM here. Then we can get 15 RPM, and at 15 RPM you can get the rated voltage. So simply I can say that, so the motor is run on no load at its rated voltage. At its rated voltage. This is what about it is rated voltage. Like so then at the starting some resistance is connected. So here at the starting the some resistance is connected in series with the armature. The resistance is connected in series with the armature, which is cut. So which is cut when the motor attains a rated speed or sufficient speed here. When the motor attains a rated speed or sufficient speed, now the speed of the motor is adjusted to the rated speed with the help of what here? With the help of rheostat. That is with the help of shunt field rheostat. So after getting the rated speed and rated voltage, then we can take the readings about these two. Okay, there is a line current as well as a field current. Then we can, after getting the after measuring the currents given all ammeters A1 and A2, then we can easily find out this IA. Okay, so this Swinburne test is which is applicable to like shunt to generators and shunt to motors here. Shunt to generators and shunt to motors. Okay, so yeah, what I am saying here, so in this method the flux is practically constant. So coming to here, in this test the machine under test is run as a motor, so there is always maybe a generator here. So that's why this test is this test is applicable to motor and what about generator here. At no load, just wait. At no load, we apply the rated voltage across its terminals and adjust its field current to run the motor at its rated speed here. So general, as you know that, so EB equal to pi Z by 60 into P by A. So the P by A and Z are the constant here. So there is constant parameters like AB proportional to N pi. So that is what about here? The EB by pi proportional to N here. Suppose here, in order to get this rated back EMF, so you have to maintain the rated speed. So when you get the rated means how to get this rated here? So this rated speed here. So at no load, we apply the rated voltage. So at no load means the motor is smoothly runs. That's why you can get what about rated speed. Then you can get what about the rated voltage. So we apply the rated voltage across its terminals. That means what about here? This is the motor. Or this is the motor. Or this is the supply. So we have to apply the rated voltage to that motor. But here some field winding will be there along with some rheostat. So we can adjust the rheostat. Suppose if the motor speed is not equal to rated speed. Suppose if the motor speed is 1450 or 1480. So we need to get rated speed means then we can adjust this rheostat. We can adjust this rheostat here until you get the rated speed like 15 RPM. Okay, at no load we apply the rated voltage across its terminals and adjust its field current to run the motor at its rated speed. At its rated speed here. Under this condition, it's no low line current. So we have to find out this what about no low line current here. That is what about I naught. So there is field current, there is I shunt, there is rated voltage are recorded here. So from which either constant losses or stray losses, from which either constant losses or stray losses are computed here. From which either constant losses or stray losses are computed here. Okay, let us see the diagram, this Swinburne test here. So what I said before here, what I said earlier. So in this method, the flux is practically constant. That is especially in case of shunt and compound motors. That is especially in case of shunt and compound motors. So one more point, what about without actually loading the motor, without actually applying the load on the motor, So the losses and the efficiency can be determined. There is a can be predetermined. So predetermined, we have to consider the load that is a digital load here, like 1/4 load, like 1/2 load, like full load. Full load you have to consider the two, so you have to multiply with one. Half load with that is whatever 1/4, like that here. Okay, so what are the specifications? So here the speed we also spend. So this is the motor. So the rheostat here. What about the rheostat 0 to 300? 0 to 300 by 2 amps. So this is the current here. Like we have to take this 0 to like this is the 0 to 10 by 20. 0 to 1 amp by 2 amps here. And whatever is the rheostat here. This is the rheostat. So actually this arrow position is like that here. Like that. This is the rheostat. This is the motor armature. This is the shunt field winding, like Z plus or A plus, A plus and A minus, and A plus and A minus. The connection is like that here. So actually here one DPS switch will be there. Over here some fuse rating will be there. 3 amps. So this is the DPS switch, double pole and single throw switch. So this is the no load line current here, I naught. So these are the 3 terminals line and field armature terminals. So this is the 3-pass starter. Already I explained earlier classes, that is what is the function of 3-pass starter. Okay. First of all, how to conduct this test here? Generally, the motor rheostat position is like that here. The motor rheostat position is here only. This is the minimum position of this. This is the minimum position. So here the maximum position is fine. So there is what about the motor rheostat kept at minimum position. The motor rheostat kept at minimum position here. So first of all, while running the motor, we have to give the supply. As you know that why? Because the input is the motor. This supply the input to the motor. Okay, there is a input supply to the motor here. So when the supply is given to the motor, then the DPST switch is closed here. So there is what about here? So then we can give this with this 3-pass starter. The current has to be limited here. The starting current has to be decreases here. So then the motor cannot be affected because of this 3-pass starter. And what about here? So in order to, so first of all, what we'll do here, after giving the DC supply, so here there is 0 to 300 volts. This is the voltmeter range. So the DC supply which is having 220 volts here. Okay. So when the 20 voltage, you can check this how much voltage you are getting. This you can check that how much voltage you are getting from the DC, from the input. You can check this with the help of this voltmeter. With the help of this voltmeter here. So what we'll do here? So whenever the motor starts, then the motor pick up the speed here, like 0 to 50 RPM, like 100 RPM. So then like what about here? Like 1400 RPM. So then you can check the reading. So then you can check the speed of this motor by tachometer. By tachometer here. By tachometer. Generally the rated speed is what about here? 1500 RPM. If the having the number of poles are 4, so there is a n equal to 120 F by P. So 120 since actually I am writing since there is n equal to 120 F by P. F is the frequency, P is the number of poles. Frequency is 50 edges inside the motor armature. So what about here? P is 4. Then you can get what about this 50 and RPM. 50 RPM here. So, but as the rheostat, so what you are getting only 15 RPM means you have to adjust the rheostat from minimum to maximum. When you adjust the rheostat from minimum to maximum, so then you can take what about, so the first this is the some point will be there. So some knob will be there. You can adjust this rheostat from minimum to maximum. So the motor speed has to be. What about the motor speed has to be increases slightly here, like 1430, like 1450, 1470, like what about 1490, like 15 rpm, as you adjust in the rheostat from minimum to maximum. So when you get the 15 rpm, then no need to disturb the rheostat here. No need to disturb the rheostat. So after getting this 15 rpm, like after getting the 15 rpm, no need to disturb the rheostat here. So then keep this rheostat at that only. Okay. Then after getting the 15 rpm, then you can check the voltmeter reading. Like you can get the like 220 voltage. So what I told you here. So that is a EB by proportional to N here. When you get the rated speed, then you can get this what about the rated voltage. So here also you can get 220 volt is the rated voltage and the rated speed here. So rated voltage and rated speed here. So after getting the rated voltage and rated speed, then you can measure the ammeter, two ammeters like line current and armature current. Otherwise you can take here field current also. Field current. So you no need to take this is like that. Otherwise you can take this ammeter here also. That's why simply. So that's why you can take 0 to. So that's why you can take here 0 to like 10 by 10 by otherwise 15 10 by like 20. But it will come here. It will come 0 to 25 amps. But that amount of, so that's why. So in order to in order to find out the armature current in generator, so you have to find out this what about here. That is the L I in case of generator IL plus ISH here. But in case of motors, what happened here? So in case of motor, IL minus ISH here. So the IL is nothing but what this is. ISH is what about here, this one. So that's why you no need to take here this ammeter. No need to take this ammeter here. Otherwise I will change that ammeter here also. Okay. Okay. After getting the rated speed and rated voltage, then you can easily find out this line current and what about this field current, this ammeter here. Okay. So here I am remove this like that. I am removing this ammeter. I am correcting here. This is the ammeter. So this you have to find out I shunt current and what about I naught. That is I naught or IL naught. Okay, these two currents. So after getting this means what about that IA equal to I naught minus I shunt for motor. What about here? IL naught otherwise. IL naught plus I shunt for generator. Okay. So here the no load current IA is measured by ammeter. The no load current IA is measured by ammeter, whereas the shunt current is measured by what about? The shunt current is measured by. So you no need to take this ammeter here. Just forget about this ammeter. Just you have to connect like that. Some books it has given like that here. But so in our laboratory, we'll take only this ammeter in line side, this field side. That's why I wrote here this one A. So the no load current IA is measured by ammeter A1, whereas shunt current is measured by ammeter A2. This is the ammeter A1 and this is ammeter A2. Next one, what about? So what about here? So what about the main object here? So we have to determine this. So we have to determine this what type of losses here. So we have to determine the constant losses here. So we have to determine the constant losses by conducting this test. Okay. Next, just wait. My connection is very poor here. That's why I have disconnected here. Okay. In the field test, the armature windings. In the like what about here? In the field and armature windings, there will be copper losses. In the field and armature winding, there will be copper losses. in the field and armature winding. In the field and armature windings, there will be copper loss due to flow of current. In the field and armature winding, in the field and armature winding, yeah. In the field and armature winding, there will be copper loss due to flow of current, which will increase the temperature of the field here, which will increase the temperature of the field, which will increase the temperature of the field and armature winding, which increase the temperature of the field and armature winding when the motor is loaded. When the motor is loaded, so this increase in temperature will affect their resistances. So this increase in, so every winding has like resistance like R shunt and here RA. So I am saying here in the field and armature winding there will be a copper loss due to flow of current, which will increase the temperature of the field and armature winding respectively when the motor is loaded. So this increase in temperature. So the temperature increases will affect their resistances. Will affect the resistance field and armature resistances. So then the new value of field resistance, like R1 or R2 dash. The new value of field resistance like that. There is what about here? Like RA, otherwise we can take. That is the hot temperature. Otherwise we can take R shunt dash. Okay. There is the new value of temperature. R, like what about R1? Like this is the RA. So this is the hot temperature of the this is the hot temperature of the resistance, and what about this is the, so armature resistance of from, so this is the armature resistance of room temperature. This is the armature resistance of room temperature here. So finally we have to take here, there is RA which is equal to R1 of 1 plus alpha 1. There is theta 2 minus theta 1. So there is alpha which is nothing but here temperature coefficient of resistance. So there is temperature coefficient of the resistance. For copper at T1. So next no losses. Then no loss, what about the no losses here? So this is the RA, this RA which is equal to R1 of, R1 is nothing but what about here? This is the armature resistance of room temperature. Armature resistance of room temperature here. And what about your RA? Hot temperature of the resistance. So from that I am going to find, so generally the temperature is rising, some books has given like 35 to 40 degrees Celsius. So I am saying here, every time you are rotating the motor means the motor winding get heated here. The rest of the winding, field winding and armature winding get heated. But in that room temperature is like 27 degrees here. Okay. Generally, the temperature coefficient of resistance, the temperature, what about the alpha 1 here? So this is the temperature coefficient of resistance for copper. For copper, here to T1, like 10 degrees here. So finally we got here the RA which is equal to R1 of 1 plus alpha 1 T2 minus T1. Right. So where T2 and T1 are what here? So where T2 and T1. What about the T2 and T1 here? So these are the temperatures first of all. Have you understood or not here? Okay. Next here. So from this, we are going to find out this. So we are going to find out this. What about here? So generally, supply voltage. Generally, the supply voltage. What about here? Generally, the supply voltage. So the following data will be obtained from the no load test here. From no load test here. So supply voltage, what about here? The supply voltage will be, the supply voltage is what it be. No load current is what about here? No load current. The no load current here, I naught. That is A1. But here I am going to find out the I naught here. I naught here. IA naught or IA naught. There is what about the shunt field current? I shunt here. Okay, what about the data? There is RA equal to R1 of 1 plus alpha T2 minus T1. T2, T1 are the temperatures here. Alpha is the temperature coefficient of resistance for copper at T1. T1 temperature. T2 is the different temperature, and the hot temperature is nothing but RA. This is the new temperature. So from the above data we can calculate the losses as follows. So first of all, no losses. The no losses, what about here? The no losses is nothing but V into I naught. So there is what about the power required to overcome these losses is nothing but there is input power. The power required to overcome these losses, that input power which is equal to losses here. The power required to overcome this, that's why the no losses which is equal to V into I naught in watts. So but no losses, that generally but no losses, what about here? But no losses which is equal to constant losses plus what about here? No load armature current. No load armature, not current, node armature copper loss. No load armature copper loss here. So from that I am going to take here the constant losses here, nothing but here Wi. Otherwise you have to represent here PC. Otherwise you have to represent PC. Constant power like constant losses. So what about here? Here plus no load armature copper losses. No load armature copper losses. What here? I naught here RA. This okay, but this is what about here? This is the constant losses. What about your iron losses? Okay, so here this is the no load loss. No load loss. So from that the Wi which is equal to no load loss minus IA naught here RA. Oh, this is most important. No load losses minus IA naught square RA. Where IA naught square is RA is nothing but what about no load armature copper losses. So there is what about no load loss is nothing but what about here this one. So no load loss is nothing but what about this one VI naught. So that this one is what about here. This one is nothing but VI naught minus IA naught here RA, and what about here just Wi. So by after knowing the constant losses, the efficiency can be predetermined at any desired load condition. And at any desired load condition, let I am going to take that is let I is the load current at which efficiency is required here. I is the load current at which efficiency is required here. At which efficiency is required. So then that IA is nothing but what about your IL minus ISH for what about your IL naught otherwise. So there is IA equal to IL naught. I naught is nothing but I. So plus for this is for what in case of motor, in case of generator here. So for generator output equal to what here? For generator output equal to V into IL. So the total losses, what about here? The total losses here. the total loss is equal to, that is what about here IL square, that is what about this